Oh, we're live. We're doing this. All right, cool. What's going on, guys? It is the Badwolf. Once again, as always, you can find me on YouTube under @ the Badwolf or just James C Lovett on YouTube. Pretty easy to find. All right, you guys can also check out my website, which is blacksite32.com. All right, with that being said, let's get going. So this particular video is going to be about dating. All right. So when you're going out there, a lot of people are going out there under the wrong premise. You're going out looking for a mate, somebody to fulfill your dreams and whatever else and be your special person. Well, the problem with that is that you need to be going out looking for a friend, okay? And in that, you will find that a friend is somebody who you want to be with. Now, and what do I mean by that? Okay. So if you're going out just looking for somebody to have a kid with and be in a relationship, that's what you're going to get. Because you end up finding somebody and then you have a kid and then you just kind of go through the motions of a relationship. If you want a relationship that's going to last, you want to find a friend. Because the person that you end up with should be your best friend. So you should be really going out, enjoying yourself within obviously reasons, merits. Because when you go out, if you go out and you show out by being a hoe and out, okay, you're showing people who would be potential partners, best friends, your last person, that you're not the quality that they want. Now, take this. Now, this to some degree, this is the kettle calling the pot black or whatever. But even when I was out there and I was doing my wild stuff, I would see women who, females, girls, whatever, that I was like, no. Now, mind you, this is also me leading a wild life when I used to be out in the clubs and other stuff. But low key, I was really like bored. So that's why I was just being wild, I guess. But I was still not as wild as I could have been. And it was really just to kind of see what's going on. So I wasn't nearly as wild as it looked like. We'll just put it that way. But a lot of times I would be looking around at females. I mean, that's what we guys do. For the ladies out there, if you don't understand, like, we're not just out, we're looking, but we're judging, and maybe this is wrong or not wrong, but we'll just say bad, if you will, to some degree. But how you move, when we see you and we see how you move, if you're not moving right, we're not going to be interested. We're not going to give you the time of day. Okay, a lot of guys have already checked out of the dating market. I was starting to like 3 years ago anyway. And so when I would be out, even when I'm still out to whatever degree, I'm still going to look because I'm a dude. But at the time, for me, is I'm judging. And I'm judging harshly because if I see you out there all over at some dude or multiple dudes, and you got dudes all over you, that's a turnoff for me. You're letting too many guys have access to you, and then I'll watch and see if you're touching this person, because when you touch another guy, all right, you're signaling to him that you're interested, that you're okay with his touch, and you want to touch him. See, that's not okay for me. All right, one. Not if you were like my girl, okay? 2, if I'm judging you to possibly be my girl, that's a turnoff. Because I don't want anybody that comfortable that they can touch your body. Now, if it's a long time friend and it's just a friend, you guys never did anything, cool, all right? But how are we supposed to know that? And some people go, well, but if you would get to know her, no, I don't want to. Because if every guy already has this much access to you, that's a turnoff. And then that means when I come on board to try to get with you, those guys are still going to want to be able to touch you, because most guys are going to test the waters and go, well, I was her friend before you, and la la la, and that's true. So I'm bowing out of the situation. Okay. So, and likewise, before anybody gets all their panties in a bind, um, the only people that like I'm comfortable and if I'm in a relationship, which currently I am, that I would touch would be my male or female friends that are comfortable with it, and that but it's also I'm not interested in them in a sexual way, and maybe she isn't or whatever else, but at the same time that can be misconstrued. All right, so I'm not gonna walk up and do that because I don't want my female to think that like maybe there's something going on or I'm a little too comfortable with this person. Like I said, unless it's like a long-term friend who's been there forever, and even then, that should be pulled back a little bit because the only person that you should be casually touching their arm or putting your hand on their chest or whatever is your significant other. Your significant other should not have to be in competition with other people trying to get you. Okay, so here's the thing, ladies. Um, Guys in general, most of them do not want to be just your friend. They're a friend, but they're like the minute man. The minute that you're not with your main guy, they're thinking, okay, I might have a shot. I should slide in there. Unless like you've been best friends forever or you're really not desirable for whatever your reasons might be. So when you're going out there, you want to make friends. You want to find somebody who can be your friend and take your time to get to know them. See what they're about, see how they move, see when they're happy, sad, glad, mad, drunk, do they drink too much? Do they do, too much of this? Do they smoke too, whatever it is, you're going to learn all of it as their friend. And then if you're okay with it, but it's not who you want to be with, then they stay as a friend, and that's what it is, called friend zoning them or whatever else. But if you let too many people, men or women, have access to you, then why would anybody want to be with you? You can't please everybody. So why are you always trying to be in everybody's story? You should be making your own story with your own person. That's the thing. You should be so I see so many people get into relationships and then they stop getting to know each other. And then they go, okay, well, let's go out and talk to everybody, la la la, and then you guys aren't talking. You're not spending time. That doesn't mean that when you go out, you can't, get to know somebody, keep a healthy distance. But I'm just saying, like, if you don't know everything about your partner, their favorite day of the week, their favorite colors, their eye color, where they would go, where they would travel, then you haven't explored that person. You're just going through motions and stuff and, moving things forward. You should be really trying to be in a position where you really know your person, like you know yourself. Most of you guys don't even know yourselves that well. You don't sit down with yourselves or really just meditate and feel who you are and whatever else. So at the end of the day, you want somebody who's a friend. This goes for guys too. You want a friend. Don't sit there and just try to smash her or smash him or whatever else. But if you do, to me, and I'm not saying that sometimes those relationships don't, or sometimes those relationships do work. So I'm not saying that, but you want to build a good foundation on being friends and intimate mentally and socially without actually being physical. Because if you build your relationship usually off of, hot and that attraction, it's usually going to fail because it's not built on any substance. Like even the girl I'm with now, like we were friends for a good, year or two or whatever it has been now since before we even started dating. Okay. And some of that's also because she was with somebody, but we were still just being friends. And when she said, oh, nope, I just want to be friends. Okay, cool. So that's where I kept it. But the moment she got single, the man of the minute jumped in it. All right, that's what I'm saying. So that's why a lot of us guys don't want other guys being a close friend because we know that they're just like us or we used to be. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Appreciate you. Have a great one out there. Be safe.